So at this weekend's USPSA match, it was the first time I've got third-person video myself in quite a while. So what I noticed in watching the two videos that I did get is that I have a tendency to really over-exaggerate my exit movements. So when I finished in a position, it looked like I would get really low and I would lean forward a lot in order to really dig my foot in to explode out of the position. And it seemed to cost more time than probably necessary. So here's an example of what I'm talking about. So I think the reason behind that, subconsciously, what I was doing is ensuring that that foot was fully 100% planted so that I didn't lose any traction when I was moving out of that position. Now, I've always been kind of awkward with movement, but I'm usually still pretty fast about it. So I don't think that this was costing me enough time to kill my times, but I do think it's a place that I identified where I can save a lot of time. So one thing that I'm trying now is one of our club members, he always uses football cleats. And I'm not going to name drop him, but this is his idea. I'm just stealing it. So anyway, I went out and got some football cleats. So I got these guys, Ross, for just 20 bucks. It was a steal. But football cleats, what are you doing in football? You're moving explosively, you're moving quickly, you're moving in multiple directions. All of that sounds a heck of a lot like what we do in USPSA, right? A lot of people, they run trail shoes, I'm sure you've seen. And the trail shoes, trail running is usually in one direction. You're navigating kind of difficult terrain sometimes, so they always have very aggressive treading, which is also great for USPSA. But I think that the structure of a cleat is more supportive for multi-directional movement than one of the trail shoes. And I know that, this isn't necessarily a new concept, but I certainly don't see a ton of people running football cleats. So these ones, you can see they got real nice aggressive cleats, and these ones are rubber. I think a lot of football cleats use plastic cleats, but don't quote me on that. But I think for dirt and rocks, I think plastic or these rubber cleats are probably the better option. So if you have a choice, I would probably lean toward the rubber, but I haven't done any testing in that regard. So anyway, I think that these, being that they're a little stiffer, they're a little more supportive on the sides of your feet, and they fit a little tighter than most trail shoes that I've used. So what I did today, I went out to the range and I was doing box drills. It's not something that I've personally seen a lot of people do in USPSA, but here's a video of that. So all I did was I set a target out at 7 yards, and then I put 2 markers on either side of it that were 10 yards apart. And I came back 10 yards and put 2 more markers. So between each marker, each corner was 10 yards. And then I just started a corner, I would draw, shoot twice, move to the next one, shoot twice, so on and so forth. And for the most part, I did this all in dry fire. I think I only live fired twice. This was a pretty low round count range day for me. But your goal is, in this drill, is that you draw, you shoot your 2 shots, and then as soon as you're done, you're breaking out, moving to the next position, and when you're coming into that position, you have the gun up and you're firing, and then as soon as you're done, you move to the next one. And so you just go corner 1, 2, 3, 4, back to 1. And that's the drill. And I think it's a really good drill for USPSA, especially movement stuff, and you can do a lot with it. If you want to do reloads, there are some times where I would throw a reload in one of the movements, but it's testing all of your movement because you have to go left, you have to go right, you have to go forward, you have to go backward. And if you want to integrate shooting on the move, if you want to shoot on the move as you're coming between positions, you can do that. You can do the reloads. You can set a target array. You can have 3 targets. and shoot 3 targets from each position. But whatever you want to do, the fundamentals are the same. You're practicing your movement. And movement is obviously really important. And other instructors have said it. I forget who specifically. I'm remembering who said it. But whenever you're not shooting, you're not getting points. So all of your movement is you not getting points. So the less time you spend moving, the more time you have to make points, right? So my experience trying out the football cleats versus normal trail running shoes that I usually use is that breaking into positions, so when I would stutter step in and plant that foot to stop, felt a lot more stable, and it felt like I could stop a lot quicker. And then coming out of the positions, it was a lot faster to just plant that foot and move. You didn't have to really dig it in because the cleats did it for you. And so you could really explode out of those positions. And the unsure footing, I felt like the entire time I felt really planted. So I think it was a worthwhile test. I think I'm going to keep using them. We'll see how it goes in this upcoming match this weekend and how I like them. But overall, I think it makes a lot of sense for USPSA to use football cleats because the movement of both sports are very similar, even if the end goal is a lot different. But I think it's something you should try and think about.